What's up, everyone? It's Kovarks here, back on the Kovarks Sports channel, and today we are giving you our Clemson College Football 2021 predictions. This team was in the college football playoff last year. They lost to Ohio State. That was a bit of a revenge game for the Buckeyes, because in the previous college football playoff, the Clemson Tigers knocked off Ohio State. That was a close game. I know there's some controversial calls. So either way, Ohio State got back at them this year. They lose the top pick in the draft. Are they having a little bit of a slide? No, I don't think so. I don't think that game is completely indicative of how good of a season they had last year. But it also shows how important Trevor Lawrence is. Not that game in particular, but the season, because they lost to Notre Dame on the road without Trevor Lawrence, but they crushed them on a neutral site with Trevor Lawrence. So, yeah, there's the road advantage and stuff. However, that shows how his loss is a big impact. However, I know I'm saying however a lot. DJ Uyagagale, I hope I pronounced that right. He did look pretty good. He was a very young kid in that Notre Dame game. He led them to a comeback win over Boston College. So I don't think that he's a horrible quarterback, and I think he'll be good enough to continue some of their success. So we are going to get into the predictions here in a second, but I do want to say that I have a brand new podcast, the first episode. It may already be out by the time this video comes out. I'm not exactly sure, because I'm pre-recording a lot of these videos. So I'm not sure exactly when this video is going to come out in relation to the first podcast episode, but there should be, barring I forget, a link in the description to the brand new Noma Sports podcast channel, and make sure to subscribe so that way you are notified when the first episode does come out. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the schedule. Here it is, 2019, they went 14-1, losing to LSU in the 2019 championship game. I guess you could say 2020 championship game. And then in 2020, they went 10-2. Of course, it was a weird year with COVID, so they actually played 2 postseason games and only 10 regular season. 9-1 the regular season, 1-1 in the postseason. Of course, they have DJ Uyagagale. They also have some other good offensive weapons like Justin Ross and some other good wide receivers. Lynn J. Dixon is going to be their head guy at running back. He was third best in terms of running last year after they lost Travis Etienne and Amari Rodgers. So, I mean, those are 3 big losses. Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and Amari Rodgers. One of their best wide receivers. Actually, in terms of yards, he was the number 1 receiver. Travis Etienne was third best receiver and best in rushing. Trevor Lawrence, of course, an incredible passer. 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions last year. So, overall, they have some major losses, but going back, DJ Uyagagale is going to be good. Their defense is stacked. Their offense, they're like Alabama at this point, or Ohio State. They can reload every year. They get great recruiting classes, top 5 every year. I have no doubt that this team is at least a college football playoff contender, if not a national championship contender once again. So, here we go. This is the schedule for the 2021 Tigers. They start off on Charlotte in the Duke's Mayo Classic, college game day going there. They will play Georgia. This is probably, could even be the game of the year in week 1. This is a monster game. I think the coaches' polls came out. Both teams were in the top 5. This game means a lot. Clemson, for them, this definitely is the hardest game on this schedule, because when you go down the list, do you really see anything that compares at all to Georgia? They don't play North Carolina or Miami on this schedule. So who is really the other big team besides Georgia? And even those 2 teams aren't as good as Georgia. This game is huge for Clemson because it is the biggest game on their schedule. And if they go into December and they're like 12-1, they won the ACC, but they lost to Georgia. I mean, yeah, it's early in the season, but that's going to be a big problem for them. And so will definitely be motivation. Of course, it'll be great to have fans back. I'm super excited. But at the end of the day, it's a complete toss-up. Georgia's weapons, their defense is super solid. They have offensive guys. I mean, they came back against Cincy last year. It's clear that they are a great team. They're going to be ready for this game. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the coaching staffs. Do you trust Dabo Swinney or Kirby Smart more? To me, with a game that is so 50-50 like this, you have to go with the coaching staff that you trust. Because you can't even go with a home field advantage. It's literally in Charlotte, so it's a neutral site game. I'm going to go with Clemson, though, just because of the fact that they have probably a little bit better and more trustworthy coaching staff. I like the Tigers in this one, so I'm going to go ahead and take them. I think they'll beat SC State and Georgia Tech pretty easily. They'll start off 3-0 before taking on NC State on the road. This may be their second hardest game of the season because NC State, probably a ranked team at this point. It's on the road. You're kind of coming off of a big Georgia win, some other wins, so I would say that they're probably in high spirits. Maybe they trip up, but it's like 3 weeks removed from the Georgia game. I don't think we see a hangover or anything. I think Clemson, it may be a close game, but I don't see it being an upset. Then moving on, we have Boston College. This is going to be a home game, possibly a college game day game. Boston College probably going to be ranked. However, it's at home. That's kind of the difference between NC State and Boston College. NC State's on the road. Those are two of their tougher games back to back, but it's at home, which is all the more reason to pick Clemson in that one. Then they get a bye week, probably a pretty good time, because you have Syracuse on a Friday night game coming up next. This is one where you can't slip up. You've done it in the past to Syracuse. Oh wait, Syracuse is going to be horrible this year. I don't really see this one being a problem for Clemson. Then you have at Pittsburgh. Pitt is going to be a good team. They could maybe have a run in the ACC, trying to get to the championship, as they are not in the same division as Clemson. But once again, do we really see anybody except maybe Miami or North Carolina in the ACC challenging Clemson? No. I mean, this team has been in the national championship 3 of the last 4 years or something. They are an incredible squad. Dabo Swinney has built up this program. They're by far the best team in the ACC. Then you've got Florida State. It's at home. Florida State's going to be better. There are all these mediocre to pretty good teams like Florida State, Pitt, Boston College, NC State. I mean, they all could be ranked when Clemson plays them. But at the same time, Florida State, Boston College, they're at home. Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh and NC State, even though they're on the road, I still don't see, they're not before or after any big game. NC State's before Boston College, Pitt is before Florida State, but still, those games aren't big enough for Clemson to be looking ahead. It's not like they have Ohio State or Notre Dame in the middle of the schedule. And so, once again, I gotta go with not Florida State, I have to go with Clemson in that one, and then Louisville, they're a complete up and down team. They have one good year and one bad one. I don't know, but once again, I trust Clemson more. Then you have UConn, Wake Forest, and South Carolina to close out the season. UConn should be an easy win. They're an independent team that is not good at all. Wake Forest, it's at home. They're a pretty good team, kind of like Florida State and Boston College. I don't see Clemson slipping up to them. And then you have your rivalry game against South Carolina, who South Carolina, they didn't get to play last year because of everything going on. So I'm super excited to have these rivalries back. Except this is kind of like Georgia Tech. It's been pretty It's been pretty lopsided. I expect it to continue that way. I have Clemson going 12-0, and that's just because the Georgia game's the only big game, and the only one I think they have a realistic shot at losing. If you win that one, I feel like you're already 12-0 for the season. You could absolutely slip up. I mean, crazier things have happened. NC State, Pitt, it can happen, but I just wouldn't expect it. I feel like it'd take a lot for Clemson to slip up, and so maybe they lose a little bit of talent like Trevor Lawrence. I still think they're a 12-0 caliber team. So at the end of the day, I will go ahead and take the Clemson Tigers in every single one of their games and have them going 12-0. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I am going to be cranking out a lot more of these prediction videos. They're going to be a little bit shorter. They're not going to be near as edited, if edited at all. I plan on just adding a little bit of music, trimming them up a little bit, and then just posting them because I am way behind. A lot of things have came up. I just lost my power for half a week. That was a disaster. So I'm trying to catch back up on these things. So there may be some double uploads on a day, 2 uploads a day for some days. But I want to fit in all the major teams into my predictions as we approach the college football season. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I don't have much else to say. I have Clemson going 12-0. What do you guys think about them? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Once again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.